Two candidates still standing in the race to earn the Republican nomination for the 5th Congressional District.
We've got to make sure that we're perfectly positioned, not only for today, but also for the days ahead.
A storied seat, relatively untouched by turnover, soon to feature a new face.
This is a pivotal time for our state.
The current commission chairman wants to jump from Madison County to Washington, D.C.
The success of Madison County is because of North Alabama working together.
The former Assistant Secretary of the Army wants to move from the Pentagon to the U.S. Capitol.
This job's in Washington, D.C., and it's representing our district in a federal setting with the national government.
Dale Strong.
Taking the voice of the people back to Washington, D.C. is part of what I will be doing for everyone.
Casey Wardynski.
Our country is going through a lot of change right now, and I've always been a change agent. I think a lot of things need to change in D.C.
Tonight, they'll answer your questions, but this primary runoff comes down to your vote.
They debate, you decide. On News 19, your local election headquarters.
Tonight, the Republican runoff candidates in the 5th District congressional race square off in their only primetime debate. Dale Strong, Casey Wardynski. From your local election headquarters, this is News 19's 5th Congressional GOP runoff debate. Sponsored by North Alabama's Tree Service.
And good evening. Thank you for joining us for this 5th Congressional District debate. I'm Jerry Hayes.
And I'm Christine Killemeyer. The next half hour, or hour I should say, will feature a special night of political conversation and debate, 1 week ahead of Alabama's primary runoff election.
News 19's Chief Investigative Reporter Brian Lawson also joining us in the studio tonight. Brian will be on hand to ask informed follow-up questions to our candidates throughout the evening.
Now, you've met the two candidates still in this race for the GOP nomination, Dale Strong and Casey Wardynski, both joining us live in our News 19 studio. Gentlemen, thank you for being here.
Alabama's 5th Congressional District covers much of North Alabama, but it looks like it has changed slightly following the 2020 census.
Yeah, that redistricting cycle saw the border move slightly to now include only the eastern portion of Lauderdale County. It also captures all of Morgan, Limestone, Madison, and Jackson counties. According to the U.S. Census Bureau, the overall population is more than 760,000, with roughly 70% of the district white. The median income is nearly $60,000, but more than 11% of the district lives below the poverty line. So here's a rundown of the rules for our debate so the candidates and you at home know what to expect.
First of all, both candidates are going to get 60 seconds to answer each question, 30 seconds for follow-ups or rebuttals, and that includes questions from Brian Lawson, and 15 seconds for clarification if needed. And we will be reminding the candidates of those times throughout the debate. A bell will sound when their time is up. Now, coin toss with our candidates done just before our debate determined Casey Wardynski will answer first.
All right, so for our first question, both of you have been campaigning in this race for more than a year at this point. What have you learned about the people of the 5th District? Dr. Wardynski, this goes to you. You have 60 seconds.
Sure. Hi, Christine. Well, I think the key thing to learn is that they understand we're in pivotal times. This is not a normal election cycle. They see America as in great difficulty. They, almost globally, as I've knocked on doors or had folks to my home, met people in all the counties, expressed terrific concern about the direction America's headed. And they're looking for help. They're looking for folks to go to Washington and get this country back on a track to liberty and prosperity. They know that Trump left us in a very strong position. They know that the Trump administration, of which I was a part, left us in a strong position in defense, economically, with regard to energy, and they've seen that all frittered away in a very short period of time, and they want that fixed. And that's across this district. Older folks, younger folks, conservatives, less conservative, they want their country back, and they want the prosperity that they've paid for, and they want liberty that they've been promised.
All right, Chairman Strong, you have 60 seconds.
Absolutely. You look at the 5th Congressional District, it spans from Lauderdale, Limestone, Morgan, Madison, and Jackson counties. When you go throughout this district, it's the same. People are concerned about the southern border and the invasion that is occurring in our country with illegal aliens coming across the line. They're concerned about fentanyl. They're concerned about the many drugs that are coming across the border. Doesn't matter where in the 5th Congressional District, that's an issue. Then they're also concerned about inflation. You look at what's going on here. We've watched as a gallon of gas cost $1.86 when Donald Trump walked out of office. Today, almost $5 a gallon for gasoline. Inflation is doing its damage throughout our country. This is what the Biden administration has brought to our country, and that's exactly what I'm going to fight as the next United States Congressman representing the 5th Congressional District.
All right, gentlemen, this district includes the largest city in the state of Alabama, but it also features several rural communities, as you well know. If elected, how will you work to represent all of the citizens in your district? And Dale, you go first this time.
Well, I'll tell you this right here. It doesn't matter whether you're in Rogersville, whether you're in Killen, or if you're in Hollywood, in Jackson County. The needs are the same. They want their voice to be heard, and that's what I've been about in the time that I've been in leadership. It's about listening. A lot of times they're being talked down to. That's what we're not going to be a part of. We want to represent, we want to take the voice of the people of all of the 5th Congressional District to Washington. And I think that that's the one thing that people have comfort. It's not a new relationship I'm trying to build. This is a continued relationship. Whether it's tornadoes, whether it's transportation issues, that's what we've done is worked with the entire region, and that's what's made us stronger. That's what's led us to the #1 area to live in. And you look at the growth in North Alabama, it's because we've worked as a team, not as individuals. It's about working as a group.
Chairman Strong, thank you. Dr. Wardynski, you have 1 minute.
Sure. Well, across the district, people have some specific needs, but they have some global needs as well. Some of the specifics, Decatur, the bridge across the river. They're looking to get that truck traffic out of downtown. That's something that the government can help with. Out in Jackson County, the TVA's got a terrific footprint out there. Some of it is not being used at the nuclear plant. That county, the wealth there comes by and large from recreation. That area could be converted to recreation use and really benefit that community, as well as northern Alabama. But across from the east to west, people are worried about their election integrity. This is supposed to be a country by the people, for the people, and of the people, with limited government. They're very worried that that's no longer the case. They saw the 2020 election. They've kept track of the events since then. They've seen things in popular media, 2,000 Mules and so forth, and they, frankly, are very worried about being able to trust elections. If that's the case, our democracy is in great danger. Going to Washington, that's something a congressman can address from day one.
Okay, thank you.
All right, gentlemen, the next question. What legislation would you propose first upon being elected? Dr. Wardynski, you have 60 seconds.
Well, this area is in a great need of continued development. We've done very well by the United States Army. The United States Army has been at war for 20 years. Its budget doubled. Huntsville saw a great deal of that revenue here through the aviation and missiles program. We saw it in Anniston and elsewhere in our state. The Army budget is getting crushed. China is a Navy and Air Force problem. We have a competitor in Texas, Army Futures Command. They have oversight of the arsenal. They don't have any great love for the arsenal. I saw that in early days in the Pentagon. They tried to cut the amount of work at the arsenal probably by about half. So we need to protect that, and ways to do that is we need to bring Space Command here. That brings a warfighting headquarters to this town. That will bring presidents, secretaries of defense, secretaries of service here, and give Huntsville the visibility it needs. We need to create a space academy for Space Force, like West Point and Air Force in Annapolis, except this one probably ought to look more like Merchant Marine, since space is partly commercial, partly defense, and probably on that scale. Not the expenditures we see at West Point, but something smaller.
All right, Chairman Strong.
Thank you. I believe the question was, what would we change legislatively? Number one, the asylum laws that the United States currently has. We're allowing people to invade our country. They need to stay in their country, whether it's Mexico, Honduras, Guatemala, and then you see where people are flying from Haiti to Mexico to illegally cross our borders. What we need to do is to be sure if someone's seeking asylum that they stay in the country that they're at until that asylum request is taken up. We watched as more than 240,000 people were apprehended in April crossing the border, where 140,000 of those were released into the United States and asked to return to a court date. It's not going to happen. We've got to address this immediately. It is costing our country billions of dollars, and that will be the first legislation that I seek with leadership, and that's to change the asylum laws where people cannot invade our country, keep them in the country that they're seeking asylum from.
All right, both of you have endured some degree of controversy throughout your careers. Chairman Strong, this question is solely for you. The removal of the Confederate monument at the Madison County Courthouse to Maple Hill Cemetery has been a highly contentious issue. Our viewers want to know who paid for the removal of that monument, and did you support its removal? You have 60 seconds.
Absolutely. The Madison County Commission passed a resolution seeking to preserve and protect the Confederate monument. These monuments were being torn down from Virginia to Birmingham, and those were just taken to the dump. The commission took more than 150 days to let people execute their First Amendment right. We sought legal counsel. We wanted to be sure that we did what was right. The easy thing probably would have been to have left it because it was going to be torn down. Our commission acted to preserve and protect. As far as who paid it, the taxpayers didn't pay it. I'm really not sure who did pay it. There were several business leaders, the Downtown Huntsville Group, Committee of 100, that said, if this occurs, we're willing to help with this project. But I can tell you this, taxpayer money was not. We relocated it to Maple Hill Cemetery that's been there since 1822 with 200 unknown soldiers that were killed, that were Confederate soldiers. Grass is cut every 2 weeks. We preserved and protected that monument. Today, ours still stands.
And I believe that Brian Lawson has a follow-up for you.
Chairman
Brian?
Strong, I appreciated your answer. When we looked into this question a little bit, we asked the county for records related to the payment. What I was able to find was a check for $25,000 from the Lanier Ford corporate fund to the circuit clerk of Madison County. Lanier Ford's attorneys worked on that case for you. Is it your position still that you have no idea where that money came from? Our impression is that you were supervising the case and those lawyers. Can you help clarify your answer on that?
That is incorrect.
You have 30 seconds, too.
That
just
is
so you know.
incorrect. Lanier Ford is not the county attorney. We have an in-house attorney, and I can tell you this right here. There were several that offered to pay it. It wasn't Black Lives Matter. It was business leaders from our community and others that offered to do it. But I can honestly tell you, I'm not sure who paid it. I can tell you that taxpayers didn't pay it, and our monument still stands today.
Just for clarity's sake, the check that was given to the clerk came from Lanier Ford's corporate trust account, based on the copy of the check that we received, for what that's worth.
Thank you.
Dr. Wardynski, this next question is for you. You abruptly resigned as superintendent of Huntsville City Schools in September of 2016. You said you did this so that your planned marriage to Pinnacle CEO wouldn't create a conflict of interest. Pinnacle did business with the school system, and at the time you said it was important for a superintendent to be above reproach. Can you describe the circumstances behind your resignation?
Sure, and the 5 board members that I spoke to about it can all attest to it too, of course. You know, I lost my wife, Sue. We were coming up on our 45th anniversary, and I lost her in December of 15. I went off to Italy to be with my kids for Christmas, and they said, don't stay up on Monte Sano alone, Dad. Do things with people. People came to my house after board meetings, board members and so forth. Karen was one of them on occasions, and would cook dinner. Over the months, I got to know Karen better. I had only known her as an employee. By July, I knew Karen and had a relationship with her. And so I brought in the board attorney on August 7th, and I told him I thought I should resign, that if I had a relationship with her, that would be improper. He assured me I didn't need to do that, and he would contact the ethics folks downstate. The following Monday, I talked to every board member at coffee and told them the same thing. I thought I should resign since I supervised her. It would create an ethical challenge that I didn't want to have. They said, no, no, stay. On the 13th of September, my attorney wrote a letter and hand-carried it and never got an answer. So on the 15th, 1 month in, I resigned because I thought it would create an ethical problem.
All right, and Brian Lawson has a follow-up for you,
Sure.
sir.
Thank you for your answer on that, Dr. Wardynski. We had a number of viewers propose questions tied to your leadership in the city school system. That includes relationships with staff and teachers. How would you describe that relationship while you were serving as superintendent, and how might that inform your service as a congressman if you are elected?
And you will have 30 seconds to respond.
Well, when I came here, Huntsville was under state control. It was a failing school system. It had a great tax base, and they'd run out of money. 66% of kids were graduating from high school, 9 failing schools. This was nothing like what Huntsville should have had. My responsibility as superintendent was to the children. And when I had adults who focused on adults, that was a problem. If we focused on kids and moved things forward for kids, that was our goal, that was our mission, and that was my priority. Where teachers did that, they did very well. Where they didn't do very well. We expected them to think about kids first.
Dr. Wardynski, thank you.
All right, this question now is once again for both of you. While the name and image of the 5th District have certainly transformed over the years, the representatives of this district haven't changed nearly as much. North Alabama has basically been served by 5 men since 1947. Would you support term limits, and how could they help or hurt the constituents? Chairman Strong, you get to answer first. You have 60
Absolutely. I
seconds.
support term limits, but I want Alabama to go by the same rules that every other state goes by. You look at it, Senator Shelby's done a phenomenal job for our community, not only for our community, but for all of Alabama and for our nation. The thing is, I support term limits, but I want to be sure that the rest of the country goes by the same rules and that Alabama and the 5th Congressional District is not left behind.
Dr. Wardynski, you have 60 seconds.
Sure, I'll give you a very definitive answer as opposed to a wishy-washy one. 6 years. I've signed the pledge to be in Congress no more than 6 years. That's a very simple answer to a simple question. I do think, though, in legislation, we need to find a way to get a good bit of Washington out of that city and to term limit some of the permanent bureaucrats. Otherwise, as the politicians come and go, the permanent party there, the deep state, will gain ascendancy and influence. We can address that by moving these agencies out of there. The FBI's come here in part. The NSA's gone to 3 locations in part. Agriculture can get out of there. Parts of defense can get out of there. Justice, bring it down in size and get it out of there. So it's not the same people constantly cycling through the federal government, having great influence and doing very little, quite frankly, because if you do a lot in Washington, you're not getting invited back. That's why that city continues to grow, the budget continues to grow, and we now have a terrific deficit. And so 6 years for me, that's a clear answer. I think the other politicians ought to take a limit as well, but we need to limit the size of the federal government.
All right, gentlemen, thank you. We have plenty more of your questions for our candidates vying for the Republican nomination for the 5th Congressional District seat. We're going to take a short break, though. We'll be right back.